scratch. We go with parts and open SolidWorks, and we're going to make sure that the units are mmgs. Technically it should ask about the units right now, but if not, we can go to tools and options and check it there. And we should find the unit system. If I can find it, that would be perfect, but it's not going to happen very fast. Document properties here, of course, and units, it's mmgs, millimeter gram per second. Now that we have that, we go to the front plane and start from there. We create a circle there, and we put it at the center, and the circle diameter is going to be the radius is going to be 16 millimeters, so the diameter is 32. Now from the features, we're going to extrude this circle for 1000 millimeters in direction 1. Make sure to check thin feature, and we're going to cap end to 10 millimeter is enough. And then check. Now should have this tube, this shell, better to say. Now we go to the left view, and then select the top plane and insert a new reference plane here with an offset distance of 26 millimeters. Reference geometry, insert reference geometry plane, and we already have this offset distance of 26 millimeter here, and hit OK. Now we go to the view orientation, we go to the top plane, now we zoom towards the bottom of the plane, and then select this plane 1 that we just created. Now we can sketch the circle here. To avoid any constraint, I can draw a circle outside of the geometry and then edit the properties here. So I would put 0, minus 974 millimeters for X and Y. And then for the radius, I'm going to put 16 millimeters. And then check. For the feature, I do extruded cut. And then the depth is going to be 26 millimeters. Pay attention, 16 millimeters is for the radius of the shell itself, and 10 millimeters is extra to have the tube coming out of the shell. And that's it. And here, how it's going to look like. So we have a cut made here into the tube. Now, again, we still have some work to do with this sketch that we created, this circle, right? So we're going to do extrude boss base, and then the depth is 75 millimeter in direction 1. In direction 2, it's going to be 10 millimeters. And we select a thin feature of 4 millimeters. We don't need to cap the ends here. Again, you can see here how it's going to extend. So it's going to fill that area and come out also. Here we go. As you can see, it's now completely connected. We have a way to go in, for the fluid to go in and continue its path in the shell. Now again, we go to this left view. We select the top plane and define another geometry. So pay attention, we created this plane here. You can see this plane 1. We created a circle here, and first we made a cut, then we made an addition here to join. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom plane here. So here now I insert a plane, a reference plane. Again, 26 millimeters, this time flip offset. Now you can see we have this new plane at the bottom surface. It's a circle, so calling it bottom is kind of weird, but you know what we are talking about. And then we check. In this plane now we can select the bottom view. Now in this plane that we just created, we zoom in again to this area, and we kind of repeat the same thing. In this plane, we create a circle. Again, to avoid any constraint, I go off the geometry, and it's going to be 0, minus 26 millimeters, and 16 millimeters. Approve this. Extrude cut. The depth is supposed to be 26 millimeters. And if I rotate this, what you notice is it's coming out. The direction of the normal direction of each plane is important. So what you do is do reverse. So now it cuts through. Now we are sure it cuts through the shell. We hit OK. Now again, we select this circle that we just created, and we do extrude boss base. Again, 10 millimeters in direction 1. As you notice, it's going to change. Now in direction 2, it's going to be 26 millimeters by default, because we did 26 before. 75 millimeter is good. And again, it should have a thin feature of 4 millimeter. We should not cap the ends. And here we go. Now what we have is essentially we do this. We have a shell that has the tubes coming in and out of it. Now we need to drill a tube in it. So we essentially, this is forming the whole shell, these 3 tubes. Now we're going to run a central tube in this. So what we are going to do is just go to the back plane and start creating that. In the back plane, we select the front plane and create a circle there. And the coordinates are going to be 0, 0, 9.5 millimeters. Check. Now we have the sketch 4 here appearing. Now we do extrude cut, and we put the depth at 1000 millimeters here. And you may notice that we have this weird length coming out, so we should put reverse direction and hit OK. Now again, opening this sketch that we just created, the circle. What happened just before going forward, I'm going to show you. So this is what's happening. Essentially, it cut the caps of the shell only without creating the tube inside of it. Now we're going to do the creation of the tube. So we do this. We do the extruded boss base, and the length this time is going to be 1026 millimeters. And 2, it's going to be 26 millimeters. And the thin feature, we're going to add 2 millimeters. And hit OK. And now you can see we have extensions of the tube. Now what we can do here is just get rid of these two planes, hide them, and we have a clean view of what we created. What you need to do is just save before we lose anything. So I created this folder here. This.